What is going on, YouTube? Matty here, and today I want to go over something that I know a lot of Guardians have either been vocal about or just internally frustrated. Trials of Osiris is Destiny's golden gem of a game mode, first coming to us in Destiny 1 oh so many years ago and just showing itself on the weekend. Trials of Osiris allows players to come together in a 3v3 elimination type playstyle and challenge you to win 7 games without a loss to make it to the glorious and prestigious lighthouse. Back in Destiny 1, this was the main thing to do every single weekend with your friends. You would head to the Reeve, you'd grab a card from the handsome brother Vance, pick up your boons, and be on your merry way. What are these boons for those who may not have experienced this back in D1? Well, you could pick up multiple boons such as a mercy boon, which allowed you to take 1 loss and not suffer a broken card. There was a favor of Osiris, which started your card with a win, and then there was a boon of Osiris, which allowed you to gain an extra 2 wins for winning your first game on the card. These could stack beautifully, with the main difference being that in Destiny 1 to go flawless, you had to win 9 games instead of today's 7. When we look at Trials in Destiny 2, we no longer have the ability to pick up multiple boons. Instead, the advantage comes in the form of the cards themselves. You pick up a mercy card instead of a card and then a mercy boon. Makes sense? Personally, bringing back these boons would allow for an easier time for players, but personally, bringing back these boons would allow for a much easier time for players, but we're going to get into the main issues and what we can do to alleviate these problems. In today's Trials experience, we have a unique issue that hasn't really come up until Destiny 2 was released. We now have multiple platforms of players who enjoy playing Destiny 2. We have our console guardians who make up a large percentage of the population, and we have our PC players who join the fun once Destiny 2 was launched. Now, it would make sense that PC players and console players remain separate since PC players have more frames, also have a wider range of view, and an easier time moving around with their mice versus moving your thumbs on a controller. Although one would think with today's consoles that can reach 120 frames and the addition to increased sensitivity options, that the barrier that separates these two inputs would be united, increasing the total player base. Alas, this has just not happened and seems nothing like this is in sight. Instead, what is happening is that we now have separate groups of players further and further to achieve a goal that in a competitive game mode just doesn't make sense. To make going to the lighthouse easier for newer or less experienced guardians, Bungie has created a separation of players based on if they've been to the lighthouse previously that weekend. If you happen to get your flawless cards done on a Friday or a Saturday, well, now comes Sunday, you are put in a separate pool known as the flawless pool. Here you only face other players who have been flawless and no one else. What was this aimed to do? Well, for one, so that players who are having a hard time previously can play Sunday and Monday without the worry of a sweaty stack of 3,000-hour Andes, all while having a good time and getting to the lighthouse. In theory, and I'm sure on paper, this sounded like a pristine idea. What came of it was far different. Our first issue is obviously replayability. If someone plays all day Friday and Saturday before the flawless pool is active, gets all their lighthouse games in, and then stops playing trials come Sunday, that has now dipped the population for those players. If players don't want to play on Friday and Saturday to wait for Sunday's flawless pool so that they can go into a supposedly less sweaty day, then we have a population dip for those first few days. And onto our third and greatest issue is some people just reset their trials cards, whether they're doing carries to help other guardians the lighthouse, or the worst of it, if you have the cringy players who 3-stack in KD farm while resetting so they can use it to inflate their egos and ultimately Twitter power, we see you and we know it's small. Anyway, moving on. Destiny 2's base issue and first issue lays with how we have structured Trials of Osiris, with a small population on PC and then splitting it into 2 separate pools, and sometimes splitting it into 4 separate pools once freelance comes into play, just makes for the most horrific time. For just a second, let's talk about why freelance is a bad idea and why I have people coming into my chat every weekend upsetty spaghetti and tired that they not only have a hard time finding people to play and help them, but they also head into freelance and just can't get to the lighthouse. Please hear me when I say this. Just because you can go into trials solo doesn't mean you should. If you have a hard time going flawless, freelance is not for you. Freelance is great for players that rock a 2.0 or higher so that if need be, they can carry their team to victory. If you don't have a 2.0, then you're just hoping your teammates can work together with no comms, never played together before, and hope to win 7 straight games. Do you see how unhealthy this is for not only the player's mental health, but for the game mode in general? I had to get that out there so that there's more people who realize what a terrible game mode freelance trials truly is. Moving on to our third main issue, and that's meta. Now, some people may be watching and think, hey, this guy just another shitty YouTuber or streamer that wants all hand cannon sniper shotgun meta and nothing else. No, I don't. Do I like using these things? Well, yes, I do. Why? Because they allow you to be mobile and accurate, which fully rewards the skill of aim and positioning. Do I think someone who can't aim or play cover should one-shot killed by shooting me in my toe with a main ingredient from 30 meters? No, and neither should you. Right now, we're in a strange meta of extremely strong abilities and weapons that have become a crutch to players. Take that crutch away, and you'll have Reddit posts and angry tweets about how content creators ruin the game. My theory is Bungie has done this to allow for new players to hop right into PvP and not have a hard time learning the mechanics or movements and have a fighting chance against some of the more seasoned players. Once those newer players get better at the game and adopt a higher level of play, they'll see this flaw, get annoyed at the slow-walking fusion rifling guardian killing them with ease, and quit the game for something else. Guys, it's a bad cycle that needs to be balanced and addressed. Now, a quick note for those that have been playing Destiny for a long time and maybe you're feeling frustrated. Don't blame the devs or our brave community managers who stand at the front lines. The decisions to change weapon strengths and weaknesses come from the very tippity top, and although you can disagree with these decisions, it's important to never harass or insult them personally in any way. Do I think pineapple on pizza is odd? Yeah. Would I make a personal attack towards someone who eats it? No. See what I'm saying? Okay, good. We're moving on. So at this point, after we've gone over some of the things that hurt this game mode, let's get into how Bungie can potentially save it. What are the things that make you come back to the game? Is it the leveling? Is it the cosmetics? The pure grind? For me, the golden era of gaming and grinding was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where guns unlocked at certain levels. Once you unlocked that gun, you had challenges specific for that weapon that would unlock weapon skins. Ah, the sweet memories of Blue Tiger and Red Tiger on my sweet M4. Anyway, my point being is we can take all of those things, put them together, and they would work. Let me explain. Wouldn't it be nice if Trials had its own shaders similar to Destiny 1? Not only shaders, but universal weapon cosmetics that had a cool Trials-esque design that you could put universally on any weapon type. Maybe some updated armor pieces that would excite those chasing the ever-longing dream of having the best strip in the game. I personally would love to see items that excite players again to get back onto that grind of going back in again and again, whether they win or they lose, and just have fun. I want to see Trials of Osiris pull back from the high horse of gatekeeping the lighthouse and make it easier for Guardians to have fun and achieve great goals. How can we do this while also preserving the prestige of the lighthouse? Have a system where players can take their Trials cards to the Drifter and bribe him with Glimmer to wipe off losses to enter those pearly lighthouse gates. Yes, it would mean more players can have fun going flawless, but what about those Guardians who strive and thirst for those sweaty and competitive games? Well, that brings me into comp. This game mode has not been touched in years. Okay, maybe not multiple years, but many seasons. Playing comp at the moment is a zero incentive activity. There is nothing to be gained from playing it. So let's change that. Let's make comp an actual competitive game mode with ranks from bronze to masters, and we can change the name to Little Light all the way to Chosen Guardian or something clever. Add in 1 or even 2 weapons to grind for, much like Not Forgotten or Redrix's. Then add a weapon skin as well as a well-made shader and exotic emblems that move. Listen, I'm spitballing here, but guys, if you agree this far, let me know down in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. I genuinely want this game to thrive and bring back that love for PvP, because right now, it's just not in a great place. Can Bungie save Trials of Osiris? Well, I hope so. I really do. I think we can make that happen with the ideas we just spoke about. I mean, guys, how cool would it be if we had content creator skins, content creator codes with Valorant-like skins in the shop every week that, again, are universal for all weapons? Well, guys, listen, that's all I got. I hope this made sense and hopefully turn a different eye to the situation. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support here on YouTube, and for those of you that come onto the Twitch, it really does mean the world. Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.